welcome back to Planet HyperStudio. I'm Joe from iteachapple.org, and this is my friend Splash. As promised, today we will use the animation tools in HyperStudio to create an aquarium. Turn around, Splash. Come on, let's go back so that people can see us. Here we go. Come on, good boy. What you are looking at now is from a student-created project on tide pools. So let's take a quick look at that project, and then we'll begin creating our own aquarium. When you first start up HyperStudio, on the home page, you'll find a link that says Sample Project. There's a lot of really great projects in there that can give you some ideas on what you can do with HyperStudio. Well, this is a project that came from that collection. So we'll take Derek's advice here and let's just jump in.
Hi, I'm Sam the Sea Anemone. I'm here to tell you that after this page you will come to a tide pool page. At that, you can click on any of the creatures you want, which will then take you to pages that will tell you all about the coelentrates, poriferous, arthropods, mollusks, any kind of terms. Have fun and learn lots.
Let's continue. There's the tide pool that you saw before, which I was sitting in. Now he did a freeze frame, and he asked us to click on any of the creatures to find out more about them. So let's do that. We'll go click on here. You can take a moment here to look this over, read it if you like. We'll click the Go Back button. And let's look at some of the other projects, or the other things that are in here. I don't have to stay on this because I know if you want to read it, you can pause it yourself. Personally, I think some sort of music or maybe even just bubbles, some kind of sound would go well with this. So let's kind of dissect this. I'm going to go into edit mode and show you what's going on behind the scenes. So all of these objects, if I click on this, you can see from the inspector what its name is, and you can check out the actions that this one just goes to another card. You can see that the student created these links. This is something that he drew and turned into a button. This whole thing is one button, and you can see the shape of it. And if you double click on it, it gives you the inspector, gives you all the things you want to know about it, about how we put it together. Well, that gives you a little bit of an idea of the educational possibilities with HyperStudio. Now let's make our own aquarium. Okay, open up HyperStudio onto a new stack. Do not use a stack that you've already used that you plan to add to. I need you to start fresh from this one. You'll understand why later on. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create an animated GIF or a fish that can swim. We'll make the fins move around while the fish floats or swims through the aquarium. So let's get our tools, paint tools up. The paintbrush here. I recommend that you use a color other than blue and green because the water is probably going to be kind of a bluish green. So for the color of your fish, make it something else, something kind of bright. Okay, we'll do this red thing here. And in the middle of the screen, you're going to make a small fish. Don't make it too big because it'll just, you got to go a lot of stuff that's going to fit in this aquarium later on. So I'm not the greatest artist in the world, but I have HyperStudio to help me. So here's my fish. I'll get my paint bucket. Now let me get another color, something dark, maybe. Give it an eye. Nice smile. I know that's lame. Now, once you've completed your fish, you can't move it. You have to leave it on the card exactly where it is because we're going to make duplicate copies of this fish. That's the way animated GIFs work. So once you have your fish, oh, and by the way, if you want to, if you're a really great artist, you can add fins. You can do whatever you want with it. But now is the time to finalize the main look of your fish. Okay? So now that we have this, I'm going to click on the card index where you see the fish, and I'm going to copy and paste. Now, I'm sure you all know how to do that. You can go up to File, Copy, File, Paste, or you can just do the keyboard command, which is Command C, Command V. So copy and paste, and as you can see, it gives me a second fish. So I'm going to click on the second one now if it isn't already clicked. And I'm going to get my square marching ants tool. I call this the marching ants tool. It's a selection tool. And I'm going to kind of cut right down where the fins start. And I'm just going to select the fins. Okay? Let go. I'm going to go up to layout and go flip upside down. And sometimes it fits really nice. Sometimes you got to move it around a little bit, like this one, like now. But just put it where it looks good. Click back on this, copy paste, and get our square tool again. Only this time I'm going to grab this and stretch the tail out that way. So the idea here is just to make subtle little changes to the movement of each fish. So click on this one again, copy, paste, and let's just do one more. I think we'll have enough. Click this part and maybe squeeze it in. Could even extend the length of it on both sides. Just subtle little things to make the movement change. Okay, I think that's sufficient. Now, what we're going to do is you have to save your project before doing this. So I'll do that. All right, I saved my project. I hope you did too, and you saved it somewhere where you can find it. So next what we're going to do is export. So go to, you can't see it on the screen here, but if you go File, Export, up in the menu here, go File, Export, And this brings up your export options. This is some things that are good to know. You can turn things into a podcast, into a movie, web page, stacks to go, image sequence, and that's what we're doing. So we're going to select image sequence, and you got to save it in the same place as you saved your other stuff, and click the export button down at the bottom. And now you can actually delete all this stuff if you want to, or you can save it. So now let's create a button. Just put it down here. Inspector over here. So we are going to continue, play an animation. And this, now we're doing a sequence of image files. That's what we just created. Click on that, and it's asking you to look for it for the folder. This is my folder here, and this is a place if you want to preview, just to make sure you got what you think you got. They all look the same, but hopefully they're not. So click on the folder and click open. Now what we're doing is you're cropping out the rest of the card that you don't need. Now you have to be careful with this, and you're doing it for all 4 fish or 5 fish or however many you did. So get your square tool and make sure you give it enough room on all sides. In other words, so remember that we had at one point we had him stretch his tail out, so you have to compensate for that now, otherwise it'll get cut off. And I might have even gone this way a little bit, so just make sure you get everything. I don't think I did anything to the beginning, so I'm going to crop it about right here, and you'll be able to get rid of the white background later. So click crop. Now it's fish ready to go. Now I made this bigger than I should have, and I will show you how you can shrink it down in case you do that. So I'm going to get this out of the way. So now, just like we did before, we're going to create a path. I'm going to click the mouse and hold it while I move the fish through the aquarium. And I'm going to go all the way off the screen and hit return. And this you saw before with the other animations we did. Continue. Here's my animation inspector. You can preview it right here. So I'm going to go path repeats non-stop. Now where it says the speed, this is the speed of the fins flipping. So if you think they're flipping too fast, you can slow it down a little bit. Mine does seem a little slow, so I'm going to slow it down to about 7 or 8. Take a look at that. So see, that's a little smoother now. I'm going to uncheck show first frame. Got non-stop there. Let's go to path options. I want the fish to turn around and go back. So we click this one, and I want it to go overall or under all, going one way, and in front of everything the other way. Or you might want it always to go behind everything, or you might not want it to do anything. It's your choice. Here it says move at recorded speed. If the speed that you dragged everything, that you created the path, is a little too fast or too slow, you can correct that here. So, oh, and the other thing I forgot to do right here, remember you want to click this because on the way back you don't want the fish to be swimming backwards. So I click that. I think I got everything. Okay, now we have to go into browse mode before we can make this work. Click on the hand and click the button. There's the fish swimming. And here's the fish turning around and swimming back. Yay. Okay, that part was successful. Put it back into edit mode here and double click on the button. Play animation. Okay, so this is where, I told you that you can change the shape of it, so a little bit, or the size. So you see the handles, just like most things, when you select something in most programs. So I'm going to click on the handle here, and if I can get it to go at the right angle, well, this is where you can shrink your fish. After the fact. Okay, so let's try it again. Path should still be the same. Well, this looks like a good place to stop. I hope you got something out of this. I promise next time we will finish working on the aquarium, and then we'll move on to some other exciting things that HyperStudio has to offer. Remember, please tell your colleagues, other teachers, people that you think could benefit from using HyperStudio, which is just about everybody. Let people know and tweet about it and use all your social media, and be sure to send me emails. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm Joe at iteachapple.org. So until next time, see you later. Enjoy HyperStudio.